Hello. Today is the Empress, key 3, Empress. Today is key 3. The day A-L-E-T-H, D, value 4, originally signified the leaf of a door. That which admits or bars, but it also symbolizes through which something passes. On this account, some writers say the Daleth represents the womb as the door of life. Well, that would make sense, right? The door itself then suggests defense, protection, preservation, safekeeping, conservation, and related ideas. This is a clue to the mode of the consciousness represented by the D-A-L-E-T-H, which would be, in my word, Daleth. We find out this mode of consciousness has to do with personal safety, with self-preservation, with defense against trouble and disease, and with the storage, conservation, and development of all that is useful to us. The idea of passage suggested by the doorway brings to mind both ingress and egress, motion into and motion out from. It also suggests transmission, diffusion, dissemination, separation, as when one thinks of a door as the means of leaving a house. And so division, A-P-P-O-R-T-I-O-N meant partition, administration. All these ideas are definitely connected with the mode of consciousness represented by the Daleth. Observe also how the principle of the antithesis already mentioned applied. A-N-T-I-T-H-E-S-I-S. Already a mention applies to the sequence of the Hebrew letters as well as to the tarot keys. Ep is a soft, open breathing, barely vocalized, and the letter name is associated with the nomadic life of the herdsmen following their cattle wherever pasturage is good. By contrast, Beth, the house, implies a certain definedness and fixity of location, and the sound of B is sharply vocalized, consonant, expelling the breath through the pursed lips. Gimel, the third letter of the alphabet, is glottal in the hard pronunciation and dental in its soft utterance. The camel, moreover, is in contrast to Beth, the house, because of the idea of commerce, travel, and communication with distant places. Now, when we consider Daleth, the door, we are brought back to the house again, so that the letter has in it somewhat of the root significance of Beth, Annie. Yet it also partakes in a measure of ideas suggested by Gimel, since both departure and return are suggested by a doorway. Venus is the planetary attribution to Daleth. She corresponds to the cow-headed Egyptian goddess Hathor, whose name in some old Latin manuscripts is occasionally spelled A-T-H-O-R. Venus presides over childbirth, is a mother goddess, and a patroness of love, beauty, and art. Astrologers say Venus rules the sense of touch and has much influence on the disposition, especially on the desire nature. In our color scale, Venus is green, corresponding to the tone F sharp or G flat. Wisdom and folly are assigned by the Kabbalists to the Daleth. Is subconsciousness and subconsciousness response to a self-conscious interpretation and suggestion determine whether our ideas, our mental offspring, are wise or foolish. The occult meaning of the Daleth indicated clearly that the letter corresponds to subconsciousness. The latter has no power of inducive reasoning, but its power of deduction is practically perfect. The card I pulled today. Now, the very word deduction means leading away from, and deductive reasoning is separative because it splits up an original premise into an indefinite number of particular consequences or applications. Whether the conclusions so reached shall be wise or foolish depends entirely on the soundness of the initial premise. The latter is formulated by self-conscious observation and inductive reasoning. If the premise be accurate and profound, the subconscious subdivisions and elaborations of the initial seed thought will be on the side of wisdom. If the premise be enacted and superficial, the subconscious developments will be on the side of folly. East is the direction assigned to Daleth, is the doorway through which the sun enters the world at the beginning of the day. It is the place of birth of light. Similarly, subconsciousness is the womb of those ideas which enlighten the world. In Hebrew, the noun for east is ABR, pronounced R, and the word for light has the same spelling and practically the same pronunciation. Luminous intelligence, the Kabbalic name for the phase of the consciousness represented by the Daleth, requires little explanation. Subconsciousness enlightens us by its deductions of our observations and from our inductive reasoning. These deductions are not only illuminating, but they also make for our safety, self-preservation, and general welfare. Again, they enable us to share in the administration of our environment, assuring us of our just portion of all good things, and enable us to find a way out of the limitations and bondage which imprison the unenlightened in cages built by their own ignorance and misunderstanding. Key 3, titled The Empress, means literally she who sets in order. She is the feminine ruling power. She is also the consort of the Emperor, whose picture adorns the Key 4 of the Tarot series. Her name contrasts with a High Priestess, which indicates the cold virginity of a cloistered devotee of the gods. In like manner, mythology contrasts the war mother goddess Venus with Diana, virgin goddess of the moon. The scene harks back to some of the symbolism of Key 1, for it is the rich, fertile garden. In the background are the cypress trees sacred to Venus, ripening wheat in the foreground is sacred to Isis Hathor, as well as to Ceres, another mother goddess. For this picture, primarily representing Venus or Hathor, corresponds also to other representations of Mother Nature. The stream and pool in the background represented by the stream of consciousness. Their source is the flowing robe of the High Priestess. Symbol of the water falling into a pool is also a subtle imitation of the union of male and female modes of cosmic energy, for the stream is modified and directed by the magician, and the pool represents the accumulation of influences descending from the self-conscious level. This stream waters the garden and makes it fertile. The Empress is a matron-oni figure, about to become a mother. Her hair yellow is bound by green wreath of myrtle. Like the hair of the fool, her symbolizes radiant energy, and her wrath has the same general meaning as that around the head of the fool. Myrtle, moreover, is a plant sacred to Venus. The idea here is to convey that the growth and organization of the plant world is the work of cosmic energy operating at subconscious levels. Those people who know how to reach the subconsciousness in plants can do almost anything with them. Luther Burbank's work was an outstanding example. What is more, growing plants respond to curses as to blessings, and those who succeed best in growing flowers are lovers of the plants they care for. Like the woman in the Apocalypse, Revelation 12:1, The Empress wears a crown of 12 stars and has a crescent moon under her feet. The stars are 6-pointed or hexagrams to show that she has dominion over the laws of the microcosm, or great world. The crown of 12 stars, like the Fool's Girdle, also symbolizes the zodiac, the year, and time. The silver lunar crescent under the Empress' feet indicates the fact that the subconscious activities she symbolizes has their basis in the primary powers of the subconsciousness, which tarot pictures in the High Priestess. Actually, there is no fundamental differences between the latter and the Empress, but the High Priestess symbolizes the virgin state of the cosmic subconsciousness as it is in itself, whereas the Empress typifies the productive generating activities of the same subconsciousness after it has impregnated by the seed ideas originating at the subconscious level represented by the magician. Besides the cypress trees, the myrtles, and the wheat ears, the 7 pearls around the Empress' neck are Vision. So is the green color of her robe. In the rider pack, the robe is white, ornamented with floral designs in which the units are astrological symbols of Venus. Again, she bears a heart-shaped shield on which display a dove sacred to Venus and symbol of the Holy Spirit. The rider pack shows a shield embolized with the conventional astrological symbol of Venus, and the circular part of the symbol is Virgin green. The heart-shaped shield is of copper, the metal of Venus. Heart and practical occultism means subconsciousness. According to Dr. Waite, the scepter which she bears is surrounded by the globe of this world, thus implies dominance over the conditions of the physical plane. In our version, she carries the scepter in her left hand. The globe is surmounted by a cross, so that the ornament on the head of the scepter is actually an inverted Venus symbol. Psychologically, the Empress represents subconsciousness as the mother of ideas, the generatrix of mental images. Generatrix, the generatrix of mental images. The power by which she works is the power of the subdividing seed ideas derived from the self-consciousness. This is the power of deductive reasoning. The apparent multiplication of images is really the splitting up of the seed ideas into manifold presentations. This is symbolized by the multiplication of the original seed in the wheat ears at her feet. She is called the Empress because subconsciousness has control over all sequences of development in the material world. Occult science declares that this control extends even to the mineral kingdom, so that the Eps in the direction of the subconsciousness by suggestion are able to effect transformations even in the organic world by purely mental means. The particular mental function particular to subconsciousness is imagination based on memory. And the will, if that's what you're supposed to be doing and what you're doing here. I hope these are helping some people get a little better idea about what the occult means through the Hebrew definition understanding of this Paul Foster case. Right? Was that his name? The Paul Foster case. This is an amazing book from 1947. It's got a whole bunch of neat stuff in it. We'll be getting to more, but by my understanding, this is just so cool. So cool. I'll get into the other understandings after I get to the end of the book. But this is it. This is just so cool. I appreciate sharing with you folks. I hope everything is well where you're at and that you're getting a little something out of my reading. Peace, love, joy, out.